SABC2 has partnered up again, once again with Heartlines to bring you a series of films called Fathers Matter. These films deal with the dynamics and relationships that are had with fathers and the roles they play. The films will rebroadcast from the 10th to the 24th of June at 8 p.m. on SABC2. Now, to share more on this, we're joined in studio by our Fathers Matter Senior Facilitator, Seth Naicker. Seth, good morning. Thank you so much for being with us. Talk to us about this series in total. What is it about? What's the inspiration behind it?
Yeah, so the Fathers Matter series is part of a broader national project called Fathers Matter.
Okay.
And there's 6 films that address the topic of encouraging active, positive presence of fathers across the country. And we are hopeful that this can really get people into a conversation. So if they're out there, we're hoping that people will join in, watch the films, and get going with the conversation.
Yeah. Speak to us about the different stories that we're going to hear and see in these series.
Yeah, so, you know, what Heartlines does amazing work on is the background research for these stories. So they're real kind of stories that are documented on people's lives and issues, the topical issues and themes that will deal, for example, like with migrant labor, unemployed fathers, fathers who are absent because of provision. And so these 6 films that will be coming to us gets the conversation going. And we are hopeful that fathers across the country, mums and children will be benefited by this project.
What conversations should we be having around the subject of fathers?
Yeah, well, you know, it brings us to the complex realities of why fathers are not present. And so well, the one is lack of awareness, you know, lack of an understanding. There's cultural roles and financial matters that keep fathers away. And we are hopeful that it'll get a father. For example, if a father is not sure, doesn't have the skills and the knowledge, we'd like fathers to get on even to our WhatsApp platform where we've got Fathers Matter Coach. Yeah. Say to father, hey, I don't know, you know, how do I handle my kid's vaccination? Where do I go? Or how do I deal with my kid's fever? So at the end of the day, we are hoping that this encourages men in the active, positive presence, because there's a lot of negative stuff going on because of men in society, or the absence of fathers and men doing the right stuff in our country. And
do those films also address issues like, I remember we had a guest in studio a couple of months ago who, you know, had an exhibition, and the exhibition was dedicated to the fact that he wasn't able to see his child, you know, access to their children, because those are the issues that we don't talk about a lot. You know, it's always the, oh no, but it's the mother, oh, but it's, there are fathers out there who are genuinely struggling to see their children.
Like, I mean, the English language doesn't do good when we talk about Nhlawulo, right? Yeah. Because they speak about it as damages. But we'd say that these are gatekeeping, socially structured ways that keeps fathers dislocated from their fathers, from their children. And why? Because a lot of the time we think about fathers as just providers, as in the financial provision. But what about the care, the love, the presence? And so this is where our films will raise a conversation and hopefully bring awareness. Yes, to men, but also to mums and children, allowing for the access of where many fathers we think are dealing with their wounds. Yeah. And through our research, we know that as we engage men, they are also dealing with their pains. Yeah. And as they come forward, we're hoping that this campaign will allow us to see a positive move across the land. Yeah.
How do you think these films will change the narrative that exists?
Yeah, so, I mean, we're hoping that, you know, through the characters, as people watch, they'll feel like, I mean, hey man, that touches my heart, that touches my life. It could possibly just encourage a person to say, maybe I can, you know, get back with my family, or be present with my child, or, you know, get centered with being there and making things happen, where I know I haven't been. So if a father's out there and he's been absent, maybe a father will say, man, I actually can do this. I can, you know, reconcile with my family. There are many children in South Africa that long for their dads. I work as a youth worker in some of the work that I do, and children are just longing. So whether, you know, and we must say, we honor our mums. This campaign is not about saying, no, mums are not doing a great job. Yes. But we need our fathers and men that will come alongside. And even if you say, but I don't have a child, we need positive role models. So in our campaign, we talk about it as a social father. Heartlines work captures your heart, and what a beautiful way then through, you know, the movies. Yeah. So you're watching it, you feel like you're part of it, you become excited. So we're hoping that this moves a positive, campaign where people will say, man, fathers can actually be active, positive, and present.
Well, what are you seeing a lot in your research regarding fathers, and is there a particular population dynamic where you're seeing that the absent father is there, is the issue of absent father is there? Are you seeing a pattern? Is there, what does your research show you?
Yeah, so I mean, if we talk about migrant labor, there is a historic factor of who are the people dislocated from their families. Yeah. So, one could see it in a race specific. However, the reality is migrant labor is happening even today in corporates. Yeah. So if you like middle class society or upper echelon, we notice this. But by and large, I think it cuts across sectors. Whether you'd say I'm a white South African, Indian South African, colored South African, black South African, we see it across sectors in society. But the research does point us to the fact that when fathers are present, we can see, the reality of at-risk issues for children, being diminished. GBV factors. If a father really understands, or men begin to understand who they are in their community. And our research kind of points out, if we can get to the heart of the matter of those fathers, there is, I don't mean to say it in a cliche way, but there's a possibility for some healing in our land. Yeah. So again, if these men, and myself included, we carry our stories, we carry our difficulties, society says, be the strong man. Sometimes we can't even live up to that patriarchal kind of image. So, as research has informed, through the storylines, we're hoping that the Heartlines Fathers Matter series catches your attention, gets the conversation going, and who knows, maybe we will shift the pulse around children who are actually crying for their dads, or shift the pulse around women and the reality of gender-based violence. So we have hope, and I believe this project can do some amazing work across the land.
Yeah. All right, so when do you start? When do the film start? When do they end?
Well, like you said, it's June month, and people might be thinking youth. Yes, because so many young people want their dad. So from the 10th of June all the way every Saturday up until the 24th of June, 3 Saturdays back-to-back, SABC 2 is going to put these films out there. We're asking people to come along, join the conversation, and if they want to know more, please check us out at fathersmatter.org.za.
All right, so at 8 p.m. you said?
8:30 p.m.
8:30 p.m.
Every Saturday night. I know that there'll be some clashes this weekend because of soccer and football, but you can catch it up on the showing, and please go online as well. But 8:30 p.m. every Saturday night, our films are going to be online, and we're hoping that this June month is going to bring some amazing vibes all across the country.
All right, Seth, good work that you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
for all the work that you do for fathers in this country. Seth Naicker. Heartlines will rebroadcast this short films series called Fathers Matter this month, and we just had a conversation with Seth Naicker, Fathers Matter Senior Facilitator.